Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Waverley Basketball Stadium on this, the 5th of August. It is a Sunday. It is 2018, and this is the elimination final in the state champ men's division of the BigV competition. The winner of this game is out of the competition. If the winner goes into a best-of-3 semi-finals to get through to the best-of-3 grand finals coming up in a couple of weeks. So we welcome you to the broadcast today on Live Sport Australia from the Falcons' Nest, the Waverley Basketball Stadium here in Chadstone, Melbourne, Australia. And of course we had two ripper games last night. The state champ women went down to Sunbury in a very hard-fought game that Sunbury came out and shocked the Falcons with a first-quarter onslaught before being held to 2 points in the third quarter. 18-2 was the score. Falcons, however, not getting enough to win the game. They will match up next week against Southern Penn, who got over the top of Hume City. So they'll be doing that. Meantime, the Youth League 1 men's team, the under-23 competition, went down to the wire in the first game of their grand final series, and Waverley got up over Sunbury by a point. So they go to Sunbury next week with a 1-0 advantage, as we see the Falcons trying to keep their season alive, get the first tap after a reset start from the refs. Shot doesn't go. Harper with the rebound doesn't get it to go either. He gets another rebound and can't get that either. So starters for the Falcons. Dan Dillon, Jason Reardon, Tim Leasting, Adrian Sturt and Mike Harper. As we see the three-point go down. First score of the game goes to Waverley. Dan Dillon drives. Stolen by his ex-teammate in Ivan Platnik. Ivan, of course, long-time Falcons player. Unfortunately, our scoreboard is deciding not to be prompt in updating. We might I'll have to do something about that for you, but it's eventually working. And another two from Ivan sees McKinnon get up to their first lead of the game, courtesy of Ivan Platnik. And the crowd is growing here at the Falcons' Nest. Last night, capacity crowd for both the boys and the women's game. And it looks like it's going to be close on that again here as Platnik picks up another rebound. Adrian Sturt with the intercept. Gets it across to Dillon. Dillon's got players in front of him. Chooses to go himself and drops the two. Lead change again, 5-4. So a couple of ex-Waverley players on the McKinnon bench, along with Ivan, who's on the floor at the moment, is Deng Deng. As we see, ball go down from for McKinnon. 5-6. And Tim Leasting, the youngster on this Falcons starting squad, can't get the tip in, and the ball goes out of bounds. It's with Adrian Tamata. Tamata across the ding-dang, back to Maybank. Stith across to Maybank. Maybank drives and somehow gets over the top of Jason Reardon. So Dylan to inbound the ball for the Falcons. It's 5-8 at the moment. Again, the Falcons not getting anywhere. They've got 7 seconds left on the shot clock. And Tim Leasing's been called for an offensive foul there. That's called a hold. So Tamata, Falcons in a 2-3 zone. And Deng Deng in and out. Harper with the rebound. He's got the runner of Adrian Sturt, who drives it in. Again, doesn't go. Tim Leasting with the tip didn't go either. Now it's back with and Leasting with the steal. Now Danny Dillon. DD gets it. The 2. It's back to a 1-point game. Three-point shot doesn't go. Jace Reardon with the rebound. Gets it to Harper. Harper drives. Finger roll doesn't go. Blocked by Deng Deng. Tamata. And he's going to be fouled. Probably by Sturt, I think. Yep. Jace Reardon thought it was going to be on him. So Tim Leasing sitting down, the veteran for the Falcons in Brad Keller, onto the floor. Tamata nails the first, extending the lead out to so it's a 7 to 10 point lead. Eventually our scoreboard will refresh. Dan Dillon kicks it round. It's with Kelleher. Out to Reardon. Reardon has been fouled on the shot. And it looks like that's Jermaine Maybank has been called for that one. Elements of the crowd not happy with that, but there was definitely contact after the shot. Willing that one to go down. Keeping the game close. So it's 9 to 10, this to tie the game at this early stages. And he's done that in what could be the swan song of his competitive career. And a couple of... And a 3 drops for McKinnon. Couple of ex-Waverley players as Dylan's jumper doesn't go. The basket is going to be waved away. The foul will be on Brad Kelleher. So it'll be a side ball. And Tomato nails the 3. So all of a sudden, this game has opened up for the McKinnon Cougars. Falcons need to put some scores on the... as Reardon gets the ball to Sturt, and Deng Deng has fouled. So this to bring it back within 3. The Falcons are running a very short roster today due to injury. Sharpshooter Chris Arkell out with an ACL. Talking to him before the game, he's going to be going into surgery this coming week. And we're looking at a potential 12-month recovery there. So in that break, Mike Harper sitting down for the Falcons, and Dean Neville coming on. Dan Dillon brings the ball down. So first change for McKinnon coming up. Looks like it's Benji Tamir is about to come on, and he'll give Jermaine Maybank a break. So 12-16. Deng Deng has a screen there from Platnick, doesn't use it, gets the ball to Stith. Stith goes for a jam, and on the way through he's been fouled by Adrian Sturt. That is Adrian's second foul. He's going to take a quick break. Mike Harper comes back onto the floor. Dylan Stith. Unusually jags that one slightly to the right. Second one rolls in, and the ball very quickly taken by the Falcons. And the ball's come off Benji Tamir's foot. So the Falcons will get a reprieve on that one. It looked like it was going to be a very quick turnover. McKinnon calling a timeout. Justin Nelson wants to have a chat to his team. And wants his seat at the same time. So we'll be back ever so shortly. We'll try and get the scoreboard up and going for you. So Jace Reardon picking up 3 points. Brings the Falcons back within 2. And just a little bit of pressure there from Brad Keller on Tamata. Sees Tamata just lose his balance slightly. And it's a turnover to the Falcons. Harper out to Reardon. Reardon. 3-point shot doesn't go, but Kelleher almost managing to get it back. It's gone off his body as both he and his ex-teammate Ivan Platnick exchange a bit of a pleasantries. Help each other up. So Tamata down to Tamir. Tamir misses that. Dean Neville slaps the ball out of Ivan's hands. And can't stop Tamir from taking the ball from him, but he gets a block. And it's come on. Well, there you go. Interesting there. Tamir must have just got his fingertips on the ball. It's back with Danny Dillon. He gets it to Dean Neville, who turns it over. 3-point shot from Ding Ding. Now this is why that man had a stellar career in his youth league days, his under-23 days, winning the... and Harper says to his ex-teammate, have the ball. Dan Dillon with the rebound. So Ding Ding went across to the States from here, ended up playing at, I think it was Baylor. Left there and played in the D League, what was then the D League, which is the NBA Development League. And has signed for this year, has signed with the Sydney Kings in the NBL. Harper keeping the Falcons in this game. (17-20). Tamir can't get it to drop. It's rebounded after a little tap from Dean Neville. And now it's with Kelleher. He drives. Trying to get the ball to Dan Dillon, but well read by Tamata. Now it's Ding Ding going all the way. Can't get it to drop. Falcons, desperate in their defense, come out with the ball. And with 16 seconds to go. And that will be the end of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. 17-20, we'll be back in a little bit of time. Well, there is some confusion as to what's going on. The refs have not signalled the end of the quarter, and the clock is being reset. So it's going to be wound down to a couple of seconds. 3, 4, yeah. So it's down, the clock is down to 20 seconds, so we're just resetting a little bit as we go. Again, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. It is going to be a baseline ball for McKinnon. They will have, well, it's down under the 3, now down the 2. It's 1.5 seconds. No, it's 0.4. .4 of a second to go. So we have no idea what's going to happen here or why they've done that. But obviously they felt that the clock, the scorers hadn't stopped the clock quickly enough. What can McKinnon do in that time? They were looking for an alley-oop. Unable to come away with that. So we are still a 17-20 game. We are going into the second quarter, and we'll see you shortly. Period of this tight game. It is a 3-point game in this elimination final between McKinnon and Waverley. Waverley hosting McKinnon after finishing with a disappointing loss against Coburg last week. So they're looking to turn around their performance, and that's not going to help them as McKinnon extend their lead. Brad Keller with a three-point attempt, doesn't drop. Ding Ding reads it better than anyone else. Gets it across to his teammate in Jack Wilson. Jack having come on to the court a second ago for his first minutes and rewarded with a 2-point layup. Now, that could have been a lottery on that foul, but it's been awarded to McKinnon, so the foul will be on Brad Kelleher. One team foul each in this quarter. First quarter stats for you. Falcons shooting at a lowly 22%. And there it tells you the story of the game, really, when you see that McKinnon is on 44%. Rebounds going the way of the Falcons, 18-10. But the turnover count not flattering the Falcons at all, 7-4. So the leading scorer for the Falcons is Jace Reardon with 9. For McKinnon, much more even spread of scorers. Ding Ding with 6. Adrian Tomato with a 7. And leading rebounder for the game is Tim Leasing on 3 rebounds. Oh, even with Ding Ding, sorry. And all of a sudden there's a timeout as the Falcons find themselves 10 points down after that huge jam from Dylan Stye. So we'll be back ever so shortly. Back, we've got Dan Dillon bring the ball down for the Falcons. What can they do about this 10-point deficit that's opened up? And suddenly there's an offensive foul. Ivan Platnick draws it. Just rubs his backside a little bit. Again, good mates, Dan Dillon and Ivan. Maybank throws the ball out. Bit of miscommunication there. He was expecting Ding Ding to stay, but Ding Ding was looking to cut. So Leasting across to, great no-look pass there from Reardon. And Ding Ding with the block on Adrian Sturts. So Ding Ding should be an exciting prospect for the Sydney Kings. They have got a great roster there. What with Kickett as Dylan Stye jams another one. The Falcons really being put to the sword here. Tim Leasting goes to the rack and he's been fouled. And that's called on Ding Ding. So again, Tim gets the first. In what was an important game for the winner of this game, Hawthorn Magic got up over Casey 80-69. So Hawthorn having their best season for quite some time. As it was soft, but it was there. Michael Harper just making contact with Dylan Stith. Saw it on the replay there. So Hawthorn, having their best season for quite some time, are going to be playing either Eltham or Ringwood in the semi-final series starting next week. And that's a best of three. Which of these two teams can join them in that series? And at the moment, with a lot of game to go, but at the moment, with an 11-point gap, you would probably put your money on McKinnon. Dylan Stith stealing the rebound over the top of Tim Leasting. Gets it back to Maybank. Now Stith looks for options, but he was trying to get the ball to Tamata, but Danny Dillon read it extremely well. Danny Dillon, of course, as a second year coming up at Melbourne United, and in the form that he's in, should get time on the floor. Of course, his season last year was cruel by injury after having a successful season over a number of years overseas, both in Europe and in Japan, as Tamata looks for options, kicks it out to Deng Deng, back to well, that was clever. It didn't come up, and now there's a foul, and it'll be a foul against Maybank. Just not quite there in time as Danny Dillon goes to take a break. So Harper across to Reardon. Stith with another rebound. So Adrian Sturt finding it difficult to get his way through. As Stith puts another two in. Adrian Sturt finding it difficult to cope with the height of both Stith and Deng Deng, as Adrian doesn't quite manage to control the ball. He throws it instead to Platnick. And Jace Reardon has fouled Maybank. Deng Deng calling for an unsportsmanlike there, but it was a valid attempt at the ball. So far this game is being played in great spirits. (21) plays 32. Make that 33. Jace Reardon unable to sink that one. Renowned as a three-point shooter in his career. Ball kicks around. It's with Stith. He's going to launch a three-point attempt. That's short. Harper with the rebound. Has runners in front of him. Gets it across to Leasing. Leasing back to Harper. Harper drives, and he's been fouled by Maybank. So 4 team fouls apiece. Side ball Falcons. Dan Dillon to Sturt. Sturt, little floater. In and out. Deng Deng with the rebound. Trying to get the up-to-date stats for you on the rebound count. And Nick Laycock nails an outside shot. Laycock only having had a minute or so on court. And just touched by Stith. Brad Kelleher's shot just falling short. Again, another no-look pass out there from Ivan Platnick. And Ivan tries to assert himself on the scoreboard. Doesn't go. He gets his rebound. Works his way through traffic. Gets it back out to Deng Deng. Deng Deng across to Laycock. And Laycock's three-point attempt. In and out. Rebounded by Reardon. Stith across his arm, but no call. And Jace Reardon, 3 points. Can the Falcons mount a charge? They are 12-point down, staying in a 2-3 zone. And that's the advantage of Dean Neville. Deng Deng found, even with his length, he needed to adjust his shot. And there's a three from Brad Kelleher. All of a sudden, the Falcons putting some pressure on the scoreboard. A jump ball, and will go the way of the Falcons. Dan Dillon back onto court in that last passage of play. So there is a timeout to the McKinnon Cougars. Justin Nelson again wanting a bit of a chat as he saw the momentum shift yet again. We'll be back ever so shortly. Hi, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2:23 to go in this second quarter. And Falcons have managed to get a momentum shift, enough that the McKinnon coach Justin Nelson needed to have a bit of a chat to his guys. He's pushed them back into a zone. They've been in a 3-2 zone for a lot of this game. as Michael Harper puts the 3 up. Sorry, Jason Reardon, I apologise, not Harper. Falcons, again staying in their zone, but they're running a 2-3. And again, that's come off Jack Wilson. So Falcons and Laycock with a big block on Brad Kelleher after Kelleher torched his best mate Ivan Platnick. Those two have played together for many, many years. As Platnick is the recipient of that errant shot of Mike Harper. Tamata kicks it out. It's with Tamata. His shot is going to go in and out, but Stith elevates and jams the ball over the top of Sturt. Jason Reardon shot doesn't go. Harper with the rebound, gets it back to Keller. Keller drives and passes it to his mate in Ivan Platnick. Ivan finally on the board. Is down the other end. Dan Dillon makes the basket. And he's going to be given a foul. It is against Dylan Stith. Now, Stith unlucky there. Could have been Jack Wilson, and that's where I am certain the McKinnon bench would have preferred it to be. Dan Dillon short on that shot. Somehow Stith keeps the ball in play and gets it back to Tamata. Tamata looking for Laycock. Ball moving through hands. Tamata sees an opening, gets it into Platnick. Platnick to Tamata. And 2 points is the end result. Ivan, if he is stopped from scoring, will find other creative ways of contributing to the game. Harper scores, and it's a foul on Stith. And Justin Nelson will need to get Stith off the court at this point. Oh no, it's not been called on Stith. We all thought it was. Justin was racing to get another player in and then suddenly realised that no, it wasn't. Dean Neville picking up the rebound. So Harper was unable to convert. And Dan Dillon makes the score respectable going into half-time. Waverley Falcons down to the McKinnon Cougars, 35-42. We will be back in about 7 or 8 minutes' time with the second half. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the start of the second quarter, and the Falcons have worked their way back into this game. McKinnon had got out to a 12-point lead in that first half. The Falcons somehow clawing it back to 7 points going into this third quarter. So I would... The Falcons still not shooting particularly well, 27% in the first half, as there's a foul being called on Jason Reardon. No, not on Jason Reardon. On Tim Leasting. Jason Reardon perhaps thought the foul was going to be on him. He was quite upset with the call, but it's all good. Shot, no good. Adrian Tamata somehow keeping it in play. Stith back to Tamata. And the three-point shot is good. Now that's one for the highlight reels. As Dillon gets it across to Sturt. Sturt pulls up, doesn't go. Adrian Tamata, the smallest man on the court at the moment, gets the rebound, takes it down to Deng Deng, who pulls up, gives himself plenty of time and nails the three. And immediately Elias Poliana says, let's have a chat, chaps. As the score has suddenly blown out again to 13 points. We will also take a very quick break. See you soon. So we are back with, as we said, the scores having blown out considerably in only a matter of a minute of this second half. So the Falcons, as Adrian Sturt does something about it, 2 points to him. Falcons shooting at only 27%. They've put up 44 shots, which is, well, 45 now, which is more than the Cougars, but the Cougars shooting at a good 43% clip. Rebound count favouring the, as Deng Deng hits another three. The rebound count favouring the Falcons in that first half, 30-25, with a massive 13 offensive rebounds, as Tim Leasting answers with a three of his own. 13 rebounds to the 3 for McKinnon. That's also an indication that McKinnon is actually putting the baskets in, as Dan Dillon gets the rebound. Gets it out to Leasting, skipped it through, Sturt from outside, nails the three. Nails the three. And Tamata now. Again, looking for options here. Finds it in Stith. Stith shot. Climbs over the top of the over the ring. It's now with Sturt across to Dylan. He brings the ball round, and Sturt's shot drops into the hands of Dylan Stith. Tamata now bringing the ball down quickly, sees a gap, and a great behind the back pass to Platnick, but Platnick can't nail the layup. What a great bit of work there from Adrian Tamata, trying to make certain that he got that shot in there. Looking for options. And there it is. Dylan Stith puts it in. Jace Reardon was on the floor after that one as Tim Leasing just slightly overcooks that three-point attempt. Falls into the hand of Ding Ding. Ding Ding pulls up, gets it across to Maybank. Maybank guarded by the youngster and Tim Leasing. He's going to take him on, and why not? Just Tim getting his hands a little too low, and Maybank sees that. So Tim called for the foul, and he's given away a shooting foul. Experience versus youth, and experience wins out. Makes that one. Adrian Sturt with the rebound off that missed second shot, and an offensive foul. Well, that one is perhaps going to be a bit controversial. McKinnon crowd absolutely loving it. But we might try and, while the court swipers are doing their job, we might see if we got that on rebound. No, we didn't get on replay, unfortunately, although we could probably bring it up. And we might be able just to see that. So if we, no, the game started, so we haven't got time to find it for you. But Jason Reardon with the rebound. But great read there of by Stith. Now Stith against Reardon, and Stith just drops it. Beautifully done. Tim Leasting. Well, there you go. Enthusiasm and youth sometimes wins out as Tim over the top of Dylan Stith, 2 points. Tamata back out to Ding Ding. It's an 11-point game. Shot missed by Stith. It's now Dylan against Tamata. And the big block by Ding Ding. Now it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because there was contact on Dylan after the block. So they've called it out of bounds off Ding Ding. Dan Dillon, 2 points. So no ill effects of that little bit of contact that toppled him to the floor. Maybank. Deng Deng sets the screen. Tomato ignores it. It's down to 2 seconds. It has to go up. Deng Deng will put it up. In and out. Stith can't get it to go. It's going to be off the Falcons. And under the basket, Dylan Stith is not a happy chappy, but looks not to be too serious at this stage. But he is in fact recovering. He's got to his feet. And he seems to be okay, which is good for McKinnon. So it's 8 seconds to go. Tomato pulls up, doesn't go. Harper. Almost controls the rebound. It's gone out of bounds. Cougars ball. So shot clock reset. So they've done nicely out of that. Got themselves another 14 seconds. It's back with Tomato. Deng Deng is cutting hard. And this time it's Maybank. Moving screen. So first team foul for the Cougars in this third quarter. And Maybank sits down. On 3 fouls, I think it is. Harper kicks it out. Jace Reardon can't quite control the ball. And it's a foul against McKinnon. Sees the ball go up to the top for the Falcons. Leasting kicks it out to Dylan. Shot is short. And Dylan will be disappointed in his efforts there because he had plenty of time on the shot. Go closer. Oh, Waverley 47 plays McKinnon 56. We just need to ignore the foul count down the bottom of our scoreboard. We might just and another 2 for McKinnon. So it's back out to an 11-point game yet again. So 47 plays 58, and again a turnover from the Falcons sees McKinnon in an almost unassailable position with 2:26 to go in this quarter. Ivan scores 2. Jace Reardon closes the gap fractionally with a 3. 10-point game. And Reardon with the steal. So Dan Dillon has got, had. Jump ball. This time it'll go the way of it's going to go the way of the Falcons. So Dan Dillon just losing control of the ball there for a second. As the spectators supporting Ding Ding have a bit of a chat to Danny Dillon. And again, the game has been competitive, but no ill feeling from either team so far, and the spectators, so it's been fantastic. Reardon coming off the screen, gets it to Dillon. Dillon shot in and out. Oh, Dean Neville can't knock it back in. It's ended up again with the Adrian Tamata, and he's been fouled by Neville. So again, the score line creeps out. It's a 12-point gap with Tamata on the line, and Tamata has been good from the line so far. Well, having said that, he proceeds to miss the free throw. Reardon. And again, another rebound from defensive rebound from Stith. Platnick in and out. Back in the hands of Dillon through Neville. And there's been a foul called. Looks to be on Platnick. Dan Dillon overthrows the pass to Mike Harper. Just trying to thread the needle. It was a great idea, but just a fraction high. Bit upset with himself over that one. Falcons need to be under the 10 points. They were at half time. Came out and let McKinnon back into the game very quickly. Reardon with another rebound. And the three-point shot missed. Stith somehow gets the ball out. It's with a dashing Ding Ding. He kicks it back up. They're going to settle it down. They've got 17 seconds to go. 2 possessions in this quarter, perhaps. It's down to 5 seconds. And the ball's with Dean Neville. His pass poor. And that's going to get another option. And again, the shot, the game clock not turned off quickly enough. There will be 0.9 of a second in this game. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. So we're winding down the clock to a 0.9 seconds Well, actually, it's a little. It's we've got about 5 seconds to go. See how well the scorekeepers can do this. It's 1.2, 1-0, 0.9. They've done a beautiful job there. And 0.9. So McKinnon's got 4 seconds to get it in. 0.9 to get the shot up. Ding, ding, does. It doesn't go. And that's the end of the quarter with the Waverley Falcons down by 12. We'll be back in a minute and a half's time. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the final quarter coming up here at the Falcons' Nest. At this stage, McKinnon seemed to have the measure of the Waverley Falcons. It has been a great season from the Falcons. They were back into what looked like world-beating form there earlier in the season, then was struck down unfortunately by a couple of key injuries, and one in particular to Chris Arkell. Looking for to extend their season by another week or so. Doesn't look like it's going to happen at this stage as Adrian Tamata floats through like a butterfly. The sting, however, was also like a butterfly on that particular occasion. Jermaine Maybank getting ready to come back into the game as Adrian Sturt is blocked by Deng Deng, gets his own rebound though, and off balance can't get it to drop. Three-point shot from outside sees the McKinnon Cougars kick out to a 15-point lead. And Stuyth not able to keep that there. So leaders at the moment in the game. The points are fairly evenly spread between the Falcons players and as Tim Leasing can't get it to drop and the Cougars. Jason Reed on 18, Adrian Tamata, the pocket rocket for the Cougars. As Deng Deng drops another three. Body language on the Falcons coaching bench tells it all. Tim Leasing trying hard, gets it to Sturt. Sturt in and out. Leasting falls over, and Stith with the rebound. Gets across to Ding Ding for the jam! And that's another timeout to the Cougars. Again, this will be on the highlight reel. As you saw that replay come up. So supporting Reardon is Dylan on 12, Deng now on 15. Maybe a little bit more than that. Total rebounds, Dylan Stith, is leading. I think he's on 11 now. Jace Reardon on 10. And in the assists, it's evenly spread between Dylan and Maybank, both on 6 each. So 8:12 to go. It is nearly a 20-point gap. This is the largest lead that the Cougars have had all game. Again, the Falcons shooting at 27%. And that's really the story. McKinnon at 41%. So the number of shot attempts have evened their way out. 66 to the Falcons. It'll be about 64 now to the McKinnon Cougars, so that's evened out. Rebound count still with the Falcons, but only by 3. Dylan pulls up, nails 2. Assist count definitely in the way of the Cougars. They're sitting on 21 to 14, I believe, at the moment. Foul count very even, 13 to 12, so there's nothing in that. There's been a couple of controversial calls, but not too much. And Reardon catches Platnick on the way up, so Ivan will go to the line. Ivan not having a huge impact on the scoreboard. This is only his, if he scores this, his 9th point. But it's his teammates in Tamada and Deng that have done all the damage. There's a violation. No, it's a foul. And it's a foul against Reardon again. So that's his 3rd, I believe. Yep. Tamada pulls up. Stith trying to get the putback. Doesn't get it to go. And the ball has gone out of bounds off Deng Deng, who was standing out of bounds as his teammate in Jack Wilson just tapped the ball to him. So Falcons with 19 on the shot clock. They have to get motoring. And that'll be a goaltend and a foul. Well, interesting. Okay. Even though the ring was touched, refs have only called a regulation foul on that one, not a shooting foul. Dylan, fall-away jumper is good. Just winding it back ever so slightly. They've got 7 minutes to go, roughly. They do have time to get it back, but they have to somehow do something that they haven't been able to do for the rest of the game, and that's to stop the McKinnon offense. As Tamada nails another 3. So Falcons have done a great job on Stith and Platnick. Struggling with Deng Deng. But that has left Tamata to basically do whatever he wants. So into Stith, Listing with another rebound. And the foul is on 33. Jack Wilson. Ivan having to pick himself up after that. It's a bit of a shame because he probably would have picked up the charge. And it's a timeout to McKinnon. We'll also take a timeout. We'll be back with you ever so shortly. Okay, the refs are bringing the players back onto court. This capacity crowd here, there's close on 300 people in the stands. Have seen an enthralling contrast and contest. The contrast in a team that's running into form right at the right time against a team that, through no fault of their own, is just struggling a little bit. As Dylan nails another two. Great work there from the veteran, and Jason Reardon sees the ball end up going through the net on a fast break from Tim Leasting. Leasting pulls back. So Falcons extending their press down the floor. Deng Deng shot in and out. Platnick with the rebound. Gets it to drop. I have always said that he scores most of his points when he's horizontal, and that was no exception. Brad Kelleher being fed by Dan Dillon. Deng Deng now. Oh, he's got Dylan Stith inside. Too slow on noticing that, but Dan Dillon just across the hands of Stith. Yeah. First contact wasn't called, the second contact was. So it was there. Tim Leasting winning out in the contest against Deng Deng, but just can't quite get the hook shot to go. And now the foul. Well, it's going to be on 3. Which way did it go, though? It went the way of the Cougars. And so it's an end ball. So before the shot, both Brad Kelleher and Adrian Tamata wearing number 3 tonight. So Deng Deng to inbound the ball. Gets it to Stith. Looking. And Leasting. Just a hold. And that is the 5th team foul. So this is shots. So Ivan Platnik at the line. Little quick chat from Platnik, from the coach Elias Palianis. Well, interesting. The refs. Wow. Just waiting for the Falcons players to get back rather than letting Ivan have his first shot. Which is what I would have expected. He misses both of those. Jason Reardon with the rebound. Michael Harper tries to get there, doesn't. And the three-point shot from Brad Kelleher on the money. Falcons back to 11. What can they do in this next four minutes? They've got to throw everything at this. And there's a turnover. Jermaine Maybank coming in. He's going to get Jack Wilson to have a rest. And he's just passing on the message from the coach to settle things down. Cougars don't need to do anything much except play good basketball. Three-point shot from Jason Reardon. All of a sudden, the Falcons in this game, in terms of intensity, the bench has started to get involved. The coach is exhorting his players. Good D from Leasting. He's just got to keep his hands out. And Jace Reardon with the steal. Harper pulls up, back to Reardon. Reardon's got time. He hands off to Dillon, who's going to float it up and score. And there's a timeout. It's a 6-point game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to go down to the wire. 3:20 to go. We'll be back shortly. So back for the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds. We have the Cougars desperate to fight off this late charge from the Falcons. Falcons doing everything they can to stay in this game and the series. But is it like the state champ women's game from last night, too little too late? Oh, they've dropped back into a zone. And this is going to play into McKinnon's hands because it'll allow them to use the shot clock. Maybank's shot is good. No call on any of that contact. And, well, that was interesting. So it has been called against Stith, his third. Deng Deng with the rebound. Now Now again, Falcons. So Reardon is going to be called for that. So that takes Stith to the line. Jace Reardon's fourth personal. Well, what I don't understand is when the Falcons had been so successful in getting back into this game, they changed the tempo, they had the crowd on side, and now they've lost a minute's worth of opportunity, and they've given away another foul, this time on Dan Dillon. So Jermaine Maybank, I think, is going to come to the line. No, it could be Stith. It will be Maybank. So that gap pushing out again. It's now 11 points. And Danny Dillon, Ding Ding, the other DD, just getting his fingers on that pass, enough to spoil the progress of the Falcons. In and out. Mike Harper is in front and he's been fouled. This time it is Adrian Tamata has picked up that foul. Maybank thought was on him just for a second. Fourth team foul for the Cougars. It's off Tamata's foot and back out of court, so still a Falcons ball. Dan Dillon blocked by Ding Ding. And it's that jump ball. This time still goes the way of the Falcons. But now they only have 9 seconds left on the shot clock. So as the court attendant finishes their duties, a minute 54 to go. Dan Dillon gets the shot up. He will get the attempt. Maybank picks up the foul, and Dan Dillon goes to the line. This to get it under 10. So back to the 10-point margin, this to make it 9. And with a minute 52 to go, there it is, there's the 9. Falcons extend their defense down the floor. And it's paid off. As jump ball, this time it's gone the other way. So Leaston can't get the conversion. Subs coming in, Ivan Platinum coming off, Laycock coming on. Just wanting some fresh legs, I think, on the court. And Mike Harper has fouled. Be very careful in that situation, particularly as we're under the last 2 minutes. You must make an attempt on the ball, which the refs have adjudged that to be. Because if there's no valid attempt on the ball, that will be an unsportsmanlike. So Jermaine Maybank misses the first, so drops a second in. Timeout called. No, it's a sub. Plattner coming back on again. Laycock back down again. So again, this is loading up on offensive power. Reardon's three-point attempt, not good. Oops. And an unsportsmanlike against Tim Leasting. And that's his fifth. That brings Dylan Larkin into the rotation. Well, Tim perhaps a bit unlucky there. He did make a valid attempt on the ball. Dylan Stith, however, just a little bit off balance. The contact was enough for him to end up on the floor. So there it is. Minute 26. It's a 12-point gap. Cougars have possession. And now Laycock comes back on. Ivan sits down. Tomato just dancing there. Harper can't afford to foul. And the three-point shot in and out. Ding ding with the rebound, and Jace Reardon. Oh, and a tick. And that's his fifth. So Corey Fredrickson will come on for the final minute. Well, it looks like there might be a double tech. Looks like there might be a bench tech as well. So we'll soon see exactly how many shot attempts they're going to have. Deng Deng misses the first, and he's going to be gets his second. Got one more to come. Right, so that was only a single tech, so this is the tech. And he makes that one. And that's just gestures to his friends in the Falcons quarter know about that. And again, they wind the clock down. They're going to come out with a double-digit lead as Tomato drives and scores. It hasn't been a solo effort, but he has been absolutely outstanding as Mike Harper puts up the reverse layup. The Falcons have not had an answer to Tomato today. So he leads all scorers as Maybank brings the ball down. It's 5 seconds. Down to 3. He's going to put the shot up. And it's the Falcons' ball. They have 15 9.7 seconds to go. It is a McKinnon victory today. Dan Dillon brings the ball down. There's token defence at the moment. They're just going to let the clock run. Game high scorer is Adrian Tamada, supported by Ding Ding and Dylan Stith. On the Cougars side, Jace Reardon, high points for, he's got a double-double for Waverley, 21 and 12. Danny Dillon, 20 and 9. Sorry, 29 assists, 9 assists along the way. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all for the state champ men's game today. It means that the Waverley Falcons are eliminated out of the series. It leaves only 2 of the 4 Falcons teams still in the hunt for a medal this season. But the Cougars go from strength to strength, coming in, scraping in, one could say, into the finals, and now with a dominant display over Waverley. We'll leave you there, and we'll see you next week for the state champ women's game against the Southern Peninsula Sharks. Date to be announced. See you soon.